As a part of our conceptual class, we understood what are the different complex types which are supported by Spark. In the other way, how can we work with the complex types by using Spark? Let us see how do we work with a struct. So before we do that, let's go ahead and import all the important functions to work with complex types: struct, split, size, array contains, explode, and create map. Let's go ahead and import them. Importing them. There you go. I hope you already have created the DF retail data frame. If you haven't, please create the DF retail data frame. That's done. So let us go and see some values here. There are so many values here. Let's go ahead and look at the schema of this. Okay, schema DF retail, just to get a hang of the data. So there are 8 columns: invoice number, stock code, description, quantity, invoice date, unit price, customer ID, and country. By using all these columns, let us manipulate the different columns and work with the complex types. The first thing is struct. How do we construct a struct? Struct, as we already seen, struct is nothing but a data frame within a data frame. We'll go ahead and say complex struct. Use the DF retail with column struct. Then I have to provide the names of the columns to be used. So what are the names of the columns? One is invoice number. Another is I'll give description. I think that should be fair enough. Let's go ahead and execute this. It is throwing an error message because we have not included the double quotes here. Please ensure that whenever you are using the columns outside the expression, do provide the double quote. We have created a data frame with struct now. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and select the column with struct so that you'll see how the column looks like. This is the column. Let's say show. You can see these 2 columns are combined into one column called complex struct. So how do we retrieve some of the values of the struct? One of the way is just go ahead and specify name of the column and then provide the invoice number. This is how you'll be able to access the elements of a struct. Let us restrict it to 5. This is how you access. If you want to access the description, you can do that also. All you have to do is take this and provide a description here. Then you'll be able to access the description as well. Yes, this is how you access the elements within the struct column. One more way is also we can use something called get field. So how do we do that? Let us reuse this code. Select column and just say get field, and let us see if everything is fine. Select. Oh, there is no this one here. We got to provide this one. Okay, so you check the brackets are fine or not. So you can see in atom it is denoting this bracket is for this, this is for this, and this is for this. Okay, so this is one more way of getting the fields within the struct column. There you go. That's it. There are 2 ways of getting the elements within a struct column. Now that we understood struct, let us move on to the arrays. Let us see how do we construct some arrays and how do we use that. We have already imported the function. What we'll do is df retail, I'll say df retail with array. Then I'll say with column, array column, and provide the expression to create the array. I'm just trying to split a description based on a space. Description, we have to provide the double quotes. Please remember that. Then how am I splitting? I'm splitting based on the space. Split column description. Think it should be fine. Yes, it is fine. It will create this data frame that is created. If you say df retail with array, select array column, you'll get to see the array columns. There you go. Let us select one more column, array column, and also let us select the description column. Then we'll be able to differentiate between these two columns. This is the original description column. By using a split function, we have taken this particular column and we have split the words based on the space, put them as an array column. This is the array column. It depends on how many words are there in each of the record. That is converted into so many number of elements as a part of the array in this array column. Now that we have created array, a couple of functions are there. One is size and we have array contains. How do we use them? Let us see that. Select, then use a size function and provide the name of the array column. That should be fine. Let us go and show this. This is how you find the size of an array column. When we say size, it is how many elements are there in an array in each of the record. This is how you find the size of an array column. We can also see if there are any strings of our choice as a part of an array column. Array contains, we have to provide the column here. Then we have to provide string what we are looking for. Let us say white here. This should be fine. Let's go ahead and execute this. We are trying to see if we have white string as a part of the array column by using a array contains function. Execute this. There you go. So wherever we have a white as a string in each of the array, that is where we'll get a Boolean value true. Wherever it is not there, we'll get a false. For a better visualization, what we can do is we can select array column function as well. Let's check this. You can see, right? Here we have a white, that is the reason it is true. Here there is no white, that is the reason we get a Boolean value as false. This is how we use the array functions. Next, one of the important function is explode. I have already explained you what is explode function. Let us see the example here. Array column, then instead of this, I'll say explode. No need to provide any other arguments here. Explode, let us go and execute this and I'll explain you further. You can see what explode is doing is it will take the each element of a array and make that as a separate row. This is the first row. In this we have 5 elements. White element made as a row, hanging as a row, heart as another row, tail as another row, holder another. But on the other hand, wherever the original record is there, all the things will be repeated. If I execute this with the 10 records, what happens is you can see this is the second row. Second record has 3 elements. Those 3 elements divided into 3 rows. Essentially, explode is taking the elements in an array, making them as a row. That's what explode function is doing. We will check what are maps. We'll go ahead and see how do we create the maps and how do we access the elements of the map. So I'll create a separate data frame, df retail with column. I'll say map column and I'll provide the expression here. Expression is we have to use a function called create map and then you have to provide the columns which are used as a key and values. We'll go ahead and use invoice number as a key and then one more column, invoice number and quantity. Let's go ahead and execute this. Yes, there you go. Our data frame df retail with map is ready. Let's go ahead and select only the map column. So you get to see how the map column looks like. You can see, right? We can select couple of more columns. We'll select invoice number and quantity, one which we have used for creating a map. You can see these two columns are combined to make a map column. This is how we create a map column. Now it is up to you which one you want to make a key, which one you want to make a value. Whichever is provided as the first one will be a key, whichever is provided as the second one, that will be a value. Now that we created a map, how do we access the elements of a map? If I provide a key, will I be able to extract the values or not? So the way we can do it is very simple. df retail, this is the data frame with map column. So you can say select expr, then you can say map column, provide the key. The key can be this one. Let us say this can be a key. You are trying to look value for a specific key. Let's try to extract the values. Let's go and execute this. We have extracted the values of this particular key. So 536365 is repeated multiple times. That is the reason we are seeing multiple records for this. Wonderful. This is how we play with different complex types in a Spark. Please do practice to become perfect. Thank you.